Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat, and welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan. It's good to be back with y'all. Happy Holy Week, y'all. Hope everyone had a good Palm Sunday for those in the Western world. We had a beautiful mass at our church here in New York. We had this new. We have a composer in residence who has this is the third year in the row he's done a new setting for the singing of the Passion, and it was just phenomenal and beautiful. And mass was 2 hours long, which was amazing. So it was pretty great, and you can check it out on YouTube. But yeah, before we dive into our game today, I want to give some shout out and thank yous. Thank you to Squire of Mary, come on, Get Punned, and Kid the Seventh. Thank you for the follows. So glad to have you here. Welcome to the channel. Get Punned, you are going to fit right in around here, I think. And Kit, thank you for the lurk. So let's go ahead and let's dive on in to Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Now, I've never played this game. I have played the sequel on my Switch, but this is on my PC. But I remember this coming out, and I know this is like a classic of RPGs. And one of the reasons I wanted to play it was the way it does moral choices. It's not the first game to have a moral choice system in it, but I think it's because of its Star Wars nature, it's sort of broadly applicable to many peoples. And I think it handles it pretty well for a first stab of what a moral system might be like. So we're going to hopefully be talking about that, as well as just like the story in general. So we could be a scoundrel, scout, or a soldier. I think I'm going to go with a scout. Wait. I did finish KOTOR 2. Yeah, it was a long time unbeatable on the Switch because of a glitch, but I played after that was fixed. Let's just click on quick character and see what it gives us. Stat-wise, strength 12, dexterity 16, constitution 12. So this is based on the D&D 3.0 system, which I played a ton of, so I actually am like super familiar with. Yeah, I'm not very charismatic. No, I don't. We're gonna have to make this character a little more custom. Look at the eyebrows on this guy. That looks vaguely like me. Okay, yeah, so attributes. I want everything to at least be a 10. Technically, it's based on SW adaptation of 3.0 D&D, which was mixed. Okay, well, it's rooted in 3.0, so like I know the basic mechanics. You always just go with Scout and skip the last 2 terrorist level ups to have more Jedi levels. Nice. Good to see you, bright-haired lord. I think I want decent charisma. Okay, I'm kind of thinking more of like a intelligence, wisdom, charisma build. Probably do want at least a +1 in strength though for combat. Gonna take some out of dexterity. We're gonna increase our wisdom here. Skills. I'm not reading that. Oh, so we have to... awareness seems good. Persuade? Yes, that seems like a Jedi thing I will do. You will do whatever I say. Wanting everything to be 10 is the biggest frustration I've always had with D&D character creation. Fair enough. Hey, Peter Simon, good to see ya. Man, I was lurking in P. Tony's chat. Peter Simon, you have a great voice. You should do radio. I don't really care about security because I'll get someone else to do that. Treat injuries seems like it would be useful. Computer use, always good. I guess let's just put the rest into repair. Something tells me there's going to be droids that are broken. We have light armor, medium armor, flurry, implant level, rapid shot, blaster, melee. Okay. 2 weapon fighting. Okay, we already have that armor proficiency. +1 to demo and stealth. You have a great voice. You should be a writer. It's fair. My joke is anytime someone says, "Wow, you have a great voice," I should say, and say I should be in radio. I say, "Yeah, I have a face for radio too." Honestly, conditioning seems like it might be useful. All saving throws +1. You want to watch, but you were about to stream. The decisions, KMax. Do it. I don't know what doing it is, but do it. Dueling. No, I think I'm gonna just go with conditioning for now. Where was it? Because that just seems like generally useful. Okay, now I came up with a great name for anyone who knows this series. You might get a sense of where it's coming from. Karth Devon. Thought that was a funny name. Totally normal. Desktop. This is on. There's my mouse. There it is. PC. This VOD is now muted by John Williams. Yeah, that seemed to be a PC thing. I don't know. I tried messing around with the settings and get it a whole lot. Knights of the Old Republic. 4,000 years before the rise of the Galactic Empire, the Republic verged on the collapse. Darth Malak, the last surviving apprentice of the Dark Lord Revan, has unleashed an invincible Sith armada upon an unsuspecting galaxy. Crushing all resistance, Malak's war of conquest has left the Jedi Order scattered and vulnerable as countless knights fall in battle, and many more swear allegiance to the new Sith Master. In the skies above the Outer Rim world of Terrace, a Jedi battle fleet engages the force of Darth Malak in a desperate effort to halt the Sith's galactic domination. You're not joking, KOTOR gets a lot of mutes? Yeah, I figured. The mouse likes protecting its properties. That ended up being confusing sometimes. That's fair. That's why I went with my name. It's a nod. It's an homage to the twist. Yeah, the mouse does love protecting its properties.
Uh-huh. It's a shame that you got a VOD there. It'd be a shame if it got muted. Uh-huh.
We've been ambushed by a Sith battle fleet. The Endar Spire is under attack. Hurry up, we don't have much time.
Read my mind. Who are
I'm
you?
Trask Olgo, ensign with the Republic fleet. I'm your bunkmate here on the Endar Spire. We work opposite shifts. I guess that's why you haven't seen me before. Now hurry up. We have to find Bastila. We have to make sure she makes it off the ship alive.
Wensleydale and Bree Gouda. Those are terrible names, and I love them, KMax. What's a Bastila?
Bastila is the commanding officer on the Endar Spire. Well, not an officer, really. But she's the one in charge of this mission. One of our primary duties is to guarantee her survival in the event of an enemy attack. You swore an oath just like everyone else on this mission. Now it's time to make good on that oath. I heard what everyone's saying about you. You've explored the farthest reaches of the galaxy. You visited planets I've never even heard of. People with your skills and abilities are hard to find. It's no wonder the Republic recruited you for this mission. But now's the time to prove yourself. I know you're a scout and not a soldier, but Bastila needs all troops at her side during this attack.
This looks like a choice. All right, we're
Hurry
gonna
up
help
and grab your
Bastila.
gear.
We signed a
need to suit
contract.
up so we can get out of here.
Okay, I'll get my stuff. Active quests. Screen important information related to ongoing adventures. Okay, journal, great. Okay. So. Scripts, skills. Where's my gear? There's my gear. Hey, Squirrel Itch. Welcome back for the 6-month resub. There's early, and then there's this stream. Yeah, well, I have... I'm helping with confessions. Later today. Sure. Cancel. Sometimes this UI is a little confusing. I want to put the sword in my right hand. No, I want to put the sword in my right hand. Get a cardio package. Ooh, Constitution +1. Don't mind if I do.
Okay, let's move out. We should stick together. You'll have more success with a party than on your own.
Trask has joined the party. Okay.
Because of the attack, this room is in lockdown. But don't worry, I've got the
Hey,
override
GameX,
codes.
thank you
You'll
for the
have to
gift,
use me
or
to
for the
unlock
sub for
door.
2 months. And on PCC, remember to do this. No free money for Google this way. All right. You recently went through the Revan novel again. Rather weird for Canderous to have a British accent. The BioWare writer who wrote the book clearly didn't know the second game. That's fair.
Now that the door's open, you better take the lead again.
I love getting XP for just opening a door.
This is Carthel Nassi. The Sith are threatening to overrun our position. We can't hold out long against their firepower. All hands to the bridge.
That was Karth contacting us on our portable communicators. He's one of the Republic's best pilots. He's seen more combat than the rest of the Endar Spire's crew put together. If he says things are bad, you better believe it. We have to get to the bridge to help defend
I'm gonna
Bastila.
name this
There's
guy,
a map of the Endar Spire
Major
and a copy
Exposition.
of Karth's message in your electronic journal, just in case we get separated.
All right, let's... How does he
That door's
voice in
locked. I don't have
Mass
the codes
Effect?
to open it.
Or in Bad
Party
Roxy?
leader, so you can use my security skills to slice into the access panel and open the door.
Okay. These controls are interesting.
These Sith must be the advanced boarding party for the Republic!
He does sound like a me character. Game pauses when you're inside of an enemy, and selection reticle will show up in red. You can use it, the mouse, to select other hostile targets. The auto pause option will be disabled with an option screen. Okay. Now let's attack this one because why not? Activate that feat. Yeah, sure. Let's.
I've got a feeling that won't be our last battle with the Sith. Good thing we have med packs to heal our wounds. It might be a good idea to use one now.
Okay. I wasn't really wounded. So we're just gonna keep walking. Major exposition. Maybe I should switch to the longsword here. Money! We're gonna need that someday. So, short sword is 2 to 7. That's 2 to 13. Yeah, let's equip the longsword. Cadence voice actor is the guy who we got after Krask dies. That's it. End of the tutorial. Okay. I'm glad some folks in the sci-fi voice acting world just, you know, have a solid gig. Wow, friendly fire. They are Sith. Yes, keep ignoring me. Fantastic. Well, he's seen better days. I like that the remains that have stuff just kind of become a belt. Now seems like a good time to use a
It's
med
Dark
pack.
Jedi. This fight is too much for us. We better stay back. All we do is get in the way. That was one of the Jedi accompanying Bastila. Damn, we could have used her help.
We could have. We're not going to anymore, but we could have. Adrenal strength and vibration cell. Interesting. I'm sure there's another way to do that, but, you know, I live here. Oh, I can put it on the combat suit. That'll probably be good, actually. Am I going to dual wield? Probably not. I like the single lightsaber look. Where's my general inventory? Why is the party inventory a garbage icon? Hey, Happy Cynic. Good to see ya. This is my first playthrough ever, yeah. Oh, it's an item upgrade, okay. Oh, those are single-use things, okay.
Yes?
Oh, hello, Jedi. Or not Jedi, Sith. How are you? Do you want to attack anytime? Well, we're not really doing anything to each other, but we're looking cool while doing it.
Bastila's not here on the bridge. They must have retreated to the escape pods. We better head that way too. The Sith want Bastila alive, but once she's off the ship, there's nothing stopping them from blasting the Endar Spire into galactic dust.
You to give him credit. Oh yeah, no, it's honestly, I mean, especially for its era, like, it's very impressively put together. Leveled up. Let's level up the old-fashioned way. Awareness just seems good to have. Treat injury seems good to have. Could do with a little demolition. I do like, though, it really wants you to do 2-weapon fighting because it's like, here it is. First skill. Get it. Doubles critical threat range. Honestly, 1 extra vitality point for every levels seems fine. Oh, yeah, it must add the feat. Bastila is Jennifer Hale, who, most notably, female shepherd. Oh, okay. I'm guessing the only other door is the way to the escape pods. Let's go!
Something behind here. Damn, another Dark Jedi. I'll try to hold him off. You get to the escape pods. Go!
Tales of Jedi Comics made this game's tone rather jarring by contrast. Most of the series takes place 50 years after. Those are names I cannot pronounce. And others, it's written as ancient myths. In this game, you find those guys' random possessions, and they're treated like ancient relics 50 years later. Well, you know, I mean, if you're impactful enough. I hope this was the way I was supposed to.
This is Carthel Nassi on your personal communicator. I'm tracking your position through the Endar Spire's life support systems. Bastila's escape pod is away. You're the last surviving crew member on the Endar Spire. Now, I can't wait for you much longer. You have to get to the escape pods.
I do not believe in ranged weapons. Let's go! Licensing issues. That makes sense. But it's nice that they were able to put in like some Easter eggs for those who had read them. Oh, I was not paying attention to how much health I had. Thank goodness I have autosave turned on.
This is Carthel Nassi.
Wait, you can't heal? I'm supposed to heal. I know I wasn't hurt much, but knowing there's two dudes in here.
Be careful. There's a whole squad of Sith troopers on the other side of that door. You need to find some way to thin their numbers. You could reprogram the damaged assault droid to help you, if you have enough repair parts. Or you could use computer spikes to slice into the terminal and use the Endar Spire's security systems against the Sith.
Shouldn't the security system already be acting against the Sith? Asking for a friend. So 3 for the shields, 3 for the put it in patrol mode. Okay, we can do that. It's gonna let this robot take care of this. Good job, robot. I don't even have to activate the security system.
You've made it just in time. There's only one active escape pod left. Come on, we can hide out on the planet below.
Yeah, I think that's a fair
I'm a soldier with
question.
the Republic, like you. We're the last 2 crew members left in the Endar Spire.
How
Basile's
do you
escape
know-
pod's already gone, so there's no reason for us to stick around here and get shot by the Sith. Now, come on. There'll be time for questions later.
Okay. This is the last escape pod and your only hope of survival. Yeah, I don't think I need the escape pod. Can we take the attack robot with us? That seems like it would be really handy. But I want to be shot by the Sith. We just crashed into a very densely populated area. That seems like it's going to have repercussions and problems. Cool, cool. I'm having bad dreams. It would if Karth wasn't a Chad. This is gonna be a light side run. I know Dark Side's the
Good to see
the
you
canonical
up,
ending
thrashing about in your
for the
sleep.
story, but
You must have been having one hell of a nightmare. I was wondering if you were ever going to wake up. I'm Karth, one of the Republic soldiers from the
to
Endar
Eclipse
Spire.
season, am I
I was
right?
with you on the escape pod. Do you remember? I'm
Hi,
not
Karth. I'm
surprised.
also
You took a
Karth,
serious
but with
blow
a
to the
K.
head. You're probably having all kinds of strange dreams. I wouldn't worry too much about it. You've been slipping in and out of
You've just had a
consciousness
traumatic brain
for
injury.
so I imagine
It's
you're
fine.
Confused about things, but try not to worry. We're safe, at least for the moment. We're in an abandoned apartment on the planet of Terrace. We were banged up pretty bad when our escape pod crashed, but luckily I wasn't seriously hurt. I was able to drag you away from our crash site and all the confusion, and I stumbled into this abandoned apartment. By the time the Sith arrived on the scene, we were long gone.
Huh, I'd always thought because of the plot twist, Dark Side was the canonical ending. I guess I owe you my life.
You don't have to thank me. I've never abandoned anyone on a mission, and I'm not about to start now. Besides, I'm gonna need your help. Terrace is under Sith control. Their fleet is orbiting the planet, they've declared martial law, and they've imposed a planet-wide quarantine. But I've been in worse spots. I saw on your service records that you understand a remarkable number of alien languages. That's pretty rare in a raw recruit. But it should come in handy while we're stranded on a foreign world. There is no way the Republic will be able to get anyone through the Sith blockade to help us. If we're gonna find Bastila and get off this planet, we can't rely on anybody but ourselves. That smack to your head did more damage than I thought. Bastila's a Jedi. She was with the strike team that killed Darth Revan, Malak's Sith Master. Bastila's the key to the whole Republic war effort. The Sith must have found out that she was on the Endar Spire and set an ambush for us in this system. I believe Bastila was on one of the escape pods that crashed down here in Terrace. For the sake of the Republic war effort, we have to try and find her.
Okay. We perceive each other to be so important. I think this is a reasonable question. Where should we start looking?
While you were out, I did some scouting around. There are reports of a couple of escape pods crashing down into the Undercity. It's probably a good place to start. But the Undercity's a dangerous place. We don't want to go there unprepared, and it won't do Bastila
I have
any
a sword.
good if we go and get ourselves killed.
Okay. Well, first I want to
I'll
ask
tell
you some
whatever
questions.
I can, though I don't know how much help it'll be.
What do you know about Malak and Sith?
Everything I know about Malak is pretty much common knowledge. He escaped the trap that killed Darth Revan, his Sith master. With Revan's death, Malak became the new Dark Lord. It's obvious that Malak's a ruthless tyrant who'll crush anyone who stands in his way, just like Revan was. Experience has shown that the Sith won't stop until the Republic lies in ruins. Malak and his Sith don't respect anything except raw, brutal power. It's hard to imagine how someone who used to be a Jedi could become such a monster.
I want to
I'll
ask
tell
you
you
something
whatever
else.
I can, though Taurus
what about this
was
planet?
once a magnificent planet-wide metropolis of towering skyscrapers, but that was a long time ago. The upper city where the rich citizens live is still pretty safe. If it wasn't for the Sith occupation and the planet-wide quarantine, it might not even be a bad place to live. But farther down, things have degenerated. The lower city is nothing but a slum overrun by swoop-by gangs, waging a never-ending war for control. And the undercity is... well, it's even worse. The lowest level of Terrace is a wasteland overrun by rat ghouls, mindless, diseased mutants that attack on sight. I've already entered all this info into your datapad journal.
Well, thank you. But I'd like to know more about you,
Understand why wanna know
you, my
more
fellow
about
Karth.
me. I kind of get the feeling we'll be spending a lot of time together over the next while. But this isn't really the best time for long introductions. We should stay focused on the task at hand. There'll be a time for that later.
Okay, well, let's go
Good idea.
start
We can use
looking
this
for
abandoned
Bastila.
apartment as a base. We can probably get some equipment and supplies here in the upper city. Just remember to keep a low profile. I've heard some grim stories about the Dark Jedi interrogation techniques. They say the Force can do terrible things to a mind. It can wipe away your memories and destroy your very identity. But I
that
figure
seems
if we
a
don't
problem.
do anything stupid, we should be okay. I mean, after all, they're looking for Bastila, not a couple of grunts like us. All right, soldier, let's move out.
Throughout the game, you'll find weapons and armors that can be upgradable. Do I have any of that? No. I can't even click the other things. Oh, I figured why there's a reason. But I figure it's also good to ask a total stranger that you're just coming into contact with. Every time you leave the apartment, you select party members who wish to take with you. You will take Karth. Alright, Karth. It's Karth and Karth against the world.
Right, you alien scum. Everybody get up against the wall. This is a raid.
There was just a patrol here yesterday. They found nothing. Why do you still keep bothering us?
That's how we Sith deal with smart-mouthed aliens.
Wow.
The rest of you,
They're
get
brutal
up against the
and
wall before I lose
racist.
my temper again. What's this? Humans hiding out with aliens? They're Republic fugitives! Attack!
Poor Ixkill. He should have never talked back to the Sith. Thankfully, you were here to step in and help us, human. This is the first time the Sith have come in here to cause trouble for us. But hopefully it'll be the last. Won't someone search for this? Ah, don't worry about the bodies. I'll move them so it looks like they were killed elsewhere. That should throw the Sith off track. You're so casual about this, I'm worried, but I'm not going to ask more questions. With any luck, they won't be bothering us again for a while. I can level up. Don't have... Actually, no, I think I can't take that. Yay. Nice. Security door. Well, I don't see too many of your kind around here. Most of the residents in this rundown apartment are illegal aliens. Quite literally. My name is Laram, by the way. I'm Karth Devon. I know it's really none of my business, but you look like someone who might need to purchase one of those new energy shields. They're the latest thing, you know, very high tech. What's so great about these energy shields? When one surrounds you with a radiant aura particle mesh that absorbs blaster bolts, pretty handy in a fight. The shield even protects against lightsabers, or so I hear. Apparently Twi'lek is a very verbose language. The shields aren't perfect, of course. They can absorb so much energy damage before they burn out. But ion blasters will take your basic dueling shield down pretty quick.
And I can tell you from experience that they aren't.
And I can tell you from experience that they aren't any good at all
at a simple
vibroblade.
And melee combat.
I've heard enough. I want one. Yeah, I want to... Why can't you just... Let me see what you've got for sale. So, and yeah, thanks for the heads up, Brayherd Lord. I am aware that the max level is 20. But I figure getting to level 4 is probably a decent place to be, just in general. Sound stealth emptying units. Grenades. Some blasters. Short swords, vibrosword. Yeah, let's just get some energy shields. Oh, I don't even have enough. Fine. Bye, Laram. A little maintenance droid. Ithorian.
Greetings and good day. On behalf of the new Sith rulers, I am programmed to encourage you to enjoy your stay on Taris. I am a cryptical droid programmed to provide information to everyone on Taris, citizens and visitors alike. Is there something I can do to serve you?
Some way I can get a shuttle off this planet, you know.
afraid that is impossible. Taris is currently under a planet-wide quarantine. The Sith are allowing no one to arrive or leave, except on official Sith business. May I be of any further service to you?
I'm sure you could help explain more,
The
but
Taris government, programmed to provide information and guidance to any who require it. May I be of any further? Then, if you would excuse me, I must continue my appointed
the character
route.
nods even when nothing is really said. Yep. He's just doing that attentive listening thing. Yeah, for sure. Yep. Yeah. Well, we can't salvage anything from our own escape pod, but these salvage droids sure can. Something seems to be bothering Karth. Maybe you should speak to him.
Yes, what's on your mind?
Do you know anything about
Karis?
this place?
The planet's all one big city, but its golden years are long past. And things have gotten worse since the Sith occupied it. From what I hear, the wealthy live on the tops of all the tall towers, and if you're poor, you live down in the shadows. And it gets worse the lower you go. Well, that's all I can think of, at any rate. Me? Well, I've been a star pilot for the Republic for years. Seen more than my share of wars. I fought in the Mandalorian Wars before all this started. But with all that, I've never experienced anything like the slaughter these Sith animals can unleash. Not even the Mandalorians were that senseless. My homeworld was one of the first planets to fall to Malak's fleet. The Sith bombed it into submission, and there wasn't a damn thing our Republic forces could do to stop it. I'm just a soldier. I go where the fleet admirals tell me to. I follow my orders and I do my duty. It's just... doesn't seem right that doing that means I failed them. I didn't.
No, you didn't.
No, I know. Don't worry about it. I must not be making much sense. You probably mean well with your questions. I'm just not accustomed to talking about my past very much. At all, actually. I'm more used to taking action, keeping my mind focused on the business at hand. So let's just do that. If you have more questions, ask them later.
Okay, so blaster go pew pew from Karth. Hello, Kebla.
Hello there. I haven't seen you in my shop before. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Kebla Yurt. Welcome to the Equipment Emporium. You looking to buy some supplies? My shop's the largest one in all of Upper Terrace. Best selection on the planet. Whatever you need, I've got. Well, mostly.
Mostly? What do you mean by that?
The Sith confiscated all my heavy weapons, and they impounded all my ships and swoop bikes. But I've still got a real nice selection, if you're interested.
Well, let me see what you got for sale then.
Just so you know, the prices on the items are final. No bargaining here. This isn't a swap meet, okay? I only deal in top-notch stuff.
It's good armor. Costs 900, but it's good armor. I don't have a ton of money, so I don't really want to go spending it right away. The cantina seems like a good place to get info. It's very hazy in here. I'm not going to ask why. Anyone labeled Sith Patrol or Terrace Citizen doesn't seem like they'd have a ton of information for me. I'm looking for someone with names. Nope. Out of my way, waiter.
I can't believe we couldn't get arena tickets for this match. Now we'll have to watch the duel on the view screen.
Who cares? It's Duncan and Gerlon fighting. It's not like we're gonna miss anything good.
Shh, they're about to start, so quit complaining and just watch the view screen.
Ladies and gentlemen, I draw your
Oh
attention
boy,
to
death
the dueling
sport.
ring. Here, two combatants will battle for your viewing and gambling enjoyment. Now, I hope all your bets are down because we're ready to roll. In this corner, I give you Gerlon Two Fingers.
He looks like he has the normal number of fingers.
Looking to climb the ranks yet again is the ever-persistent Deadeye Duncan. And to nobody's great surprise, Deadeye is down again. Don't worry, folks. He's just unconscious. As usual, our medics will have him up and about in a bit. Well, that was quick, wasn't it? So I give
That was
you
anticlimactic.
the winner, Gerlon Two Fingers.
I guess that's probably introducing me to the fact that I can... Hello, Hut. I'm sorry, human. The betting window's closed. No more fights right now. People are sick of seeing the same duelists all the time. It's bad business. Unless... My name is Ajur. I organize all the duels here. We need a new face in the dueling game, human. Maybe you want to step into the duel ring? It could be a highly profitable venture. Seems dangerous and bad. I just want to ask you some questions. Questions? Bah! Questions don't make me money. But if you want to fight, it could be profitable for both of us. Okay, I'm not gonna fight right now. Don't pass up the opportunity, human. You fight for me, and I'll make you rich. If you change your mind, come back, talk to me again. Oh, there's Deadeye Duncan, and... Well, here's Two Fingers, and... He appears to be having the normal number of fingers. Maybe he has gloves on with artificial fingers. I can't hear the music. Well, there's some people with names that... Wait, does this guy have a name? Jurgen.
No hard feelings, my good man, but I can't really talk with you right now. It's difficult enough to draw the interest of the ladies in this establishment as it is. Surely you understand what I'm talking about. I'd guess you've experienced many lonely evenings, something I'm hoping to avoid tonight.
Okay, you're a lech.
Hi there. I haven't seen you around before. Of course, they don't give us Sith officers from the military base much time off.
You're from the military base? You don't
I'm
look
off duty
like
right
Sith.
now, so I'm not in uniform. My name is Sana, junior officer, first class with the Sith Occupation Force.
Nice to
I'm
meet you.
actually
I
a little
want it.
surprised you're talking to me at all. Most of the people here on Taris can't stand us Sith. It can make this job pretty lonely.
No, it's not just a job. That's a terrible response. Can't blame people. You did just conquer their
great.
planet.
I see where this is going. The Sith are evil. Why did I join them? Blah, blah, blah. I don't need a lecture from the likes of you.
Maybe you feel a little guilty about what you
Don't
do.
try to analyze me. I'm just doing my job. Same as any other soldier in any other army. Besides, I don't have to explain myself to you. I don't think we have much else to say to each other. Let's just keep this civil and go our separate ways, okay?
Okay, bye.
Hello there, youngster. You interested in buying the Pazak deck of an old man looking to get out of the gambling game? Just 50 credits and I'll sell you all my cards. I'll even throw in a free lesson to boot. It's a great deal, if you can afford it.
Yeah, I'll buy a Pazak deck.
Glad to see you're interested in the grand old game. The rules are pretty simple. Here.
Which version
I'll
of Pazak
load them
are we
up
playing?
into your data pad so you can check them out anytime you want. Good luck. I hope the game's as good to you as it was to me. Now, is there anything else I can do for you?
I'll ask you
Of
some questions,
course,
and then we'll get back to
My
Pazak.
mind isn't as sharp as it used to be. That's why I'm giving up the gambler's life. But I think I can still manage to answer some simple
Why am I just carrying around
questions.
my sword? That seems not great.
I spend my days here in the cantina, sipping ale and chatting with the folks who wander by. I don't have much use or care what goes on outside these walls. I don't see much point in worrying about that kind of stuff now that I've given up the gambler's life. Is there anything else I can do for you? Of course, of course.
Guessing you're giving up
No
gambling
sense in a
because you wasted
youngster
your
like
life's
you
money on it.
wasting your days away with an old man in a dingy bar. But if you ever want to chat, you know where to find me.
Okay. Pazak rules. Object of the game is to have your face-up cards total higher than your opponent's hand without exceeding a total of 20, so kind of like blackjack. Player's total is greater than 20, it's a bust. The opponent wins the set. A player must win 3 sets to win the match. Ranging from -6 to +6, okay. Back from school. Welcome back, Kit. Each player draws 4 random cards from their side deck to form their hand. These cards are available to the player for all sets of the match. Each hand card can only be played once per match. Okay. The first player draws a card from the main deck and plays it face up. After drawing a card, a player has the option of playing one of the cards from their hands. That is optional. Only one hand card can be played each turn. Remember, a player's 4-card hand must last through all sets of the match. The player now has the option to stand or to end turn. A player who stands cannot draw again or play any more cards from their hand during the set. When one player stands, the opponent... So it goes back and forth, okay. If either player chooses to end turn, they will automatically draw another card at the beginning of their next turn. Players continue to alternate turns until both players choose to stand. In the case of a tie, blah, blah, blah. Player can never have more than 9 cards in play in one set. A plus or minus card played from the side deck must be declared as a positive or negative when played. And the first player to win 3 sets wins the match and the wager. Let's play some
Back
Pazak.
again? Is there something?
Okay. Yeah, that's my side deck. Okay, we already read the rules. So I'm just skipping through this. Okay, so I just played a 3. Seems like fun. Did I miss the father joke? Did you redeem a father joke, Bad Roxy? I'm sorry. I recommend saving between each Pazak game. Yeah, I figured when they get more complicated. I figured for this first one, just like the tutorial, it's probably don't need to save. Oh my gosh, Bad Roxy, I'm sorry. On my chat, it blended in with K-Max's sub, so I missed it. So how does NASA prepare for a party? They plan it. Don't worry, it helps because they space out the details. I'm gonna play this too. And stand. I won! How is this going to take off now? Why does Saturn give me a ring to confirm my RSVP? I don't know. Why does Saturn give you a ring to confirm your RSVP? Yeah, I know that if a player's points is 20, they automatically stand. Yeah, I'll end the turn, because they're going to bust first. Okay, can I play this as a minus? How do I do that? No, I can't. Never mind. This is a very slow game. I will stand on my 22. I've got a Pazak deck somewhere. I think it's in my closet upstairs. Okay, I'm just gonna end the tutorial. We get how Pazak works. And we've kind of... Bendex Star Killer.
I'm not giving out any auto prints to my fans today.
I just want to ask you some questions.
I'm not going to answer them. You'd just be wasting your breath. So, move along before people see us talking and think I'm signing auto prints today. I don't want to be mobbed. Off with you then. I'm done with this conversation anyway.
Well, this version of Pazak is like... The weird thing is there's like 5 versions of Pazak. Because it keeps showing up and... Because they're like, oh, it's the Star Wars card game. No, we don't feel like looking up the rules that other people have made. So we'll make our own. So I need to find my way into the Undercity, I think. Medical facility.
Davik says you missed your last payment.
Davik doesn't like you missing payments.
Here, I've got 50 credits. A down payment. That should buy me some time, right?
Sorry, you're out of time. Now it's all or nothing. Davik can't have people not paying his debts.
But I don't have that much. How can I give you credits I don't have?
That's too bad. Davik's going to want to make an example of you. You're coming with us.
No! Help! Somebody help! They're going to kill me!
I know we have to be careful about drawing attention to ourselves, but are we gonna just let them drag this guy off? Hold on a second. Looks like we got ourselves a witness here.
Davik doesn't like witnesses. Oh, well, he got us involved. The rules are the rules we discover along the way. Well, thank you, Brayhard, but I'm going to ask that you not backseat too much. I'm trying to explore this game and let it naturally unfold, so...
Are going to take me away and kill me. My wife warned me not to take a loan from Davik. Now I can't pay it back. It's not good to owe a crime lord money. You'll just keep sending more bounty hunters after me till I'm dead.
Maybe I can help you.
Help me by saving me from those bounty hunters. So, unless you have a spare 100 credits to give me so I can pay off Davik, there's nothing else you can do.
Well, I spent my money buying a
I'm getting out of here before any more of Derek's
Sabak
goons show
deck,
up. You
so-
should do the same.
Watch as these guys just have a ton of credits on them. Are they going to have enough credits to give this guy? They are! Wait, sir, I have your credits. Sir! It's all good right here. That's why I gave you the just the warning, I guess. But trust me, there's gonna be times when I get stuck and I'm gonna be like, chat, help me. And I will definitely need y'all's knowledge then. Standard door. Where does standard door lead? No, to apartments. Well, that might help. It looks like Proto-Coruscant almost.
What is this planet coming to, huh? Slummy's just walking around the upper city.
Shouldn't you know it's a law says you belong, Slummy?
Oh, this is rich.
Yeah, like he said.
You're drunk in public. That's not allowed.
You better get out of the way if you know what's good for you.
Better think twice about what you're doing. Yeah, well...
Come on, fellas. This Slummy ain't worth the bother.
Yeah. I guess you're right. Maybe next time, Slummy. Come on, fellas, let's
I
go.
can't really understand what they're saying.
Listen to me, people. There is a terrible scourge sweeping our planet. Heed my warning before it is too late.
It is too late. The Sith have kind of taken over your city.
The evil walks among us.
This elevator is off limits. Only Sith patrols and those with proper authorization are allowed into the lower city. It's obvious from the way you're dressed that you're not one of the Sith patrols. So unless you have the authorization papers, you move along.
Where can I get authorization papers?
You'd know where to get them. Now quit wasting my time.
Okay, well that's a good answer.
Move along then.
We're gonna need some kind of disguise if we want to get past this guy.
Is a sword a disguise? Probably not. It's an interesting looking ship. Where are the Legos? I thought this game had Legos. Wrong Star Wars game. Military base. That seems like a good place to get armor. It's locked. Is there a run button? Or is this considered running? I am running.
Plague spreads through our
Very
streets.
sad running.
We cannot sit idly by while this pox infects us.
Do you get fast travel later? I figured, considering you probably go to other planets and stuff. Again, I've played the sequel. A customer, come in. Janice Null at your service. Welcome to my droid and droid supply shop. I sell droids and droid supplies. Always good to see a new face. Customers are hard to come by. A lot of Terra citizens won't even come in here. They refuse to shop at a store owned by a Twi'lek. What do they have against Twi'leks? They don't like aliens much up here in Upper Terrace. They tolerate us Twi'leks but they'd rather see us as dancers in the cantina than successful business owners.
You'd think people would be a little more tolerant of others in this day and age. I guess stupidity and ignorance will never go out of style.
You'll see a few aliens around, but most of the non-humans stick to the lower city. I've learned not to dwell on it, though. I tried to stay focused on running my store. My selection is a bit limited right now. The Sith have confiscated my assault droids, but I've got a utility droid you might find interesting. Utility droid, you say? Let me see what you have for sale. You want to see my inventory, or are you here to buy a utility droid? My prices are reasonable, and all my droids come with a money-back guarantee. Oh, let me see your droids. Rebuilt T3H8 for 50 credits and top-of-the-line T3M4 with all the options. But he's not for sale. Then why did you talk about him? T3 seems a good option. This little guy's as reliable as used droids get. I did reconditioning on him myself. Don't worry, he'll follow you everywhere. Anything else? I'll ask you some questions. I don't know if I can help you much with questions. I don't get out much. I prefer to spend my time with droids to mingling with the Terra citizens. But I'll try to help you out. I like her. She's nice. She's like the most helpful person we've come across. Anything you know about the escaped crash pods? People are saying a few crash pods crashed down in the Undercity. I blame it on human error. A droid wouldn't lose control of that ship like that. Anything else? How do you feel about the Sith? I don't think much of them since they came and seized most of my droids. I guess they were afraid if someone used my droids against them. Or maybe they just wanted to use my droids for themselves. There's no such thing as a bad droid, but sometimes they fall into bad owners. Well, I don't know exactly what to tell you. Stick to the upper city and you should be okay. As long as you don't do anything foolish to draw attention to the Sith. Draw attention to the Sith. Don't mind if I do. Some upper city citizens are biased against aliens. Makes it tough for me to run my store, but a human like you shouldn't run into any problems. I'd recommend going down to the lower city unless you have business with Davik or something like that. The place is overrun with swoop gangs. What's a swoop gang? They're nothing but a bunch of thugs. They didn't used to be so bad when the hidden Becks were in charge. I even sold some droids to them. But now the Black Volcar gang is making a bid for control of the lower city. The place has become a war zone. Well, I'll be going then. Maybe I'll see you around. Don't forget to share my store motto. If you need droid parts, Janice Nell is your gal. I purchased you, so come with me. Well, I think I'm getting my money back. Hello? Oh, where's that little T3 unit I sold you? It blew up. I want my money back. It blew up? Huh. I thought I'd take care of that little cross-wiring problem. Well, don't worry. I run an honest business here. I don't want to give you a refund. I don't want to lose a customer here. I have 50 creds back. No hard feelings, right? So I'm guessing if I try to persuade her, one of two things is going to happen. Either I get more credits, or I get the other droid. Is this like the only option I have to get that droid? Or are there other opportunities to get a droid in my party? Well, I want to be a nice guy, so we're going to say no hard feelings. This is tough enough as it is. Anything else you need? Well,
Tangabunshan Bonanakachu Kicha Badwang Wanga kum kiba bu mulera kakin shak nawagawa
talk about your T3 and 4. He's a custom job I'm holding for a special buyer. Okay.
Run.
So that other droid is for a special buyer. I guess we're just leaving this pile of rubbish on your doorstep. So, sorry. Okay, well, we haven't explored the apartment block over here yet. No, you left your door open. Just, hello? Arth, please. Don't get me stuck in a corner.
Just move along. There's nothing to see here. Where did you hide those Sith uniforms? Did you sell them to the Teresian underground? Start talking.
Plot.
I want answers.
Please, I'm only a visitor to Terrace. I'm trapped here by your quarantine. I know nothing about the Teresian underground, where you're missing Sith uniforms. What's going on here?
Curious for your own good, civilian. This doesn't concern you.
I know all about Sith interrogations. This isn't going to end well.
I'm getting sick of your lies, you alien scum. We've got your ugly mug and a security tape from the base. Start talking before I splatter your slimy brains all over this room.
These guys are rude.
Commander's losing his temper. I'm glad I'm out of here. It took me an hour to clean the bloodstains from my uniform after the last interrogation.
Yep, stop this interrogation.
What's going on out there? Just stay out of this if you know what's good for you.
I won't let you kill a defenseless prisoner.
You right? Let us kill him? How can you stop us?
I've got a sword.
Civilian, the penalty for defying the Sith.
Hey, light side point gained. Hello. Hello. There we go. Hey, we got some Sith armor. Oh, and another Sith trooper. Thank you, human. The Sith would have killed me. Of that, I am certain. I don't know who you are, but it is clear you are no friend of the Sith. What gave that away? Among my people, there's a saying, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Really? That's a... Okay. Thought that was just a generic saying. This is why I stole the Sith uniforms for the hidden Becks. Hidden Becks, who are they? In the lower city, there are some who do not bow to the conquerors. Swoop gangs like the Hidden Becks are gathering resources to one day strike against the Sith oppressors. If you wish to strike another blow against the Sith, you would be wise to journey to the lower city and speak with Gadon Thek, the leader of the Hidden Becks. Can you take me to Gadon? Access to the lower city is restricted. I've never actually met Gadon. My only dealings were with members of the Hidden Beck gang. Can I get one of those uniforms from you? I'm sorry, but all the uniforms were given to the Hidden Becks. I suppose you could take the uniforms from the bodies of the Sith soldiers here in this room if you wanted. What are the Hidden Becks planning? You would have to ask Gadon Thek what they know to know the answer to that question. They approached me. My only role was to obtain the Sith uniforms for them. Alright, I should be going. As should I. The Sith know my face now. I must find somewhere to hide in this world. Thank you once again, human. Okay, so I only have one Sith armor. Is that going to be enough? It doesn't even give that good protection. My combat suit is better.
Yes?
Can I get away with just one to get into the doors, I wonder? I could see the game allowing that, but I need the orders still. Low security door. Well, let's try, you know. Nothing ventured, nothing gained and all that. I'm transporting this prisoner to the lower levels.
Another patrol heading down to the lower city, eh? Well, good luck. I've heard it's pretty rough down there. There's a big swoop gang war going on, you know. You better watch yourself. Those gangs will take a shot at anyone, even us. It's too bad we don't have the manpower just to sweep those slums clean.
Okay. No, I just need to be hidden. My companion is like, you know, I'm just coming along for the ride. Give him the Sith armor, though, because that'll give him some... a little bit more armor. Vex are nothing but bantha fodder. The Vulcars are strongest. We'll teach you who's strongest. Well, it's not you, my friend. Get TC has redeemed a father joke. How do the planets entertain themselves? They read comic books. Sith aren't welcome here. Well, I'm not a Sith. Look, I'm a normal dude.
You
Excuse me, don't run away from me. Well, every way looks terrible. Because that's the apartments. We'll save that. Yeah, those parties NASA throws. That's it. Oh. Oh, we've got a cantina. Hold on, the commanders have said I can't let any of your troopers into the cantina while you're on duty. I'm not. I'm just a dude. I'll be going now. Just remember our rule. Don't cause any trouble in Javar's cantina. You leave your problems and your attitude at the door. Are we orbiting back to space puns? It just seemed appropriate today. Oh. Hello, we're looking for the hidden Becks. This door...
Sorry, but your kind aren't welcome in here. The hidden Becks don't care much for you, Seth.
Where are we going now?
You do that. Go back to the upper city where your shiny uniforms will make the citizens quake in their boots.
What is her accent? Oh, I better. About to use a med pack on myself, and then. Oh look, I got her to help.
What?
I thought this guy had remains. Apparently not. Okay, so this Black Volcar doesn't want to fight me. It was just those other ones.
With your payments. What do you think just because you're in some gang, you don't have to give Davik his cut?
I don't see Davik doing anything for his share. We do all the work. Davik claims he's part of the exchange. So let's see him prove it. Yeah, let's see the big crime lord come and get his money from the Black Volcars.
Ah, so you want to play this the hard way. Okay.
We didn't know you were Davik. Hey, we were just goofing around. We don't want no trouble with a Mandalorian. Here's Davik's cut.
I knew you boys would see reason. Now get out of here.
Too bad. I was looking forward to cracking some heads.
Aspirated some
Maybe
water.
Next time, Canderous. I better get this over to Davik. I'll call you if anyone else gets behind on their payments.
Well, let's follow Davik's agent. Oh, he's going to the Lower City Apartments. Okay. Then let's keep exploring.
How'd you like that?
I was confused. I was like, why did I just switch characters? He hadn't even hit me yet. It's always like right as I'm about to heal that they're...
What?
They knock me out. Blaster turrets, a Sith. This looks like an important door.
Hold on, where do you think you're going? This area is restricted to undercity patrols. Without the proper security papers, I can't let you pass. I don't know how they do things in the upper city, but down here, we follow our orders to the letter. Without your security papers, I can't let you past. So just march on back to the base, talk to your commanding officer, and tell him you need the security papers. Otherwise, you ain't getting down.
Okay. So that's probably referring to the base that we saw on the upper level. You can use rapid transport to return to your base. On the map screen, you see a button, Return to Hideout. Ooh. Well, in the apartment complex, the button on the map screen will read Transit Back. Pressing this will transport you to the location where you last used your Return to Hideout function. That seems really useful. So Return to Hideout. There we go. It is upgradable, I just don't have anything to upgrade it with. Go back to the Undercity, because we have not finished exploring this yet. Oh, you're right. I did actually add him. Wow, this game is... Thank you, Abby Sennick. Yeah, I forgot this game is a little, The UI is a little clunky. It has not aged well. Who shot me in the back? Oh dear, there are a lot of them. This is a problem. Other Karth is doing a good job taking care of it, though. No, don't get in there, Karth. Okay, good. Now, I am going to save this level up. I could see someone playing this game and not even realizing you could level up, because it's just that little L in the corner.
What? Sure.
Oops, I fell again. didn't ask for you to keep engaging. I asked for you to heal yourself.
Yes?
Volcar base is locked, you say? This is my face of shock and surprise that they're trying to keep their enemies out. What? Restricted access to authorized users only. Please activate the holograms in proper order to confirm authorization. Further attempts at unauthorized entry will result in detonation of the patented HoloSec core anti-theft explosive. Oh. Yeah, we're not touching that until we know the pattern. This guy hits like a truck. Hey, we got an energy shield. There we go. Now it's our energy shield.
What? What?
I'm actually running low on med packs. Could be a problem. Nope. Remains, please. Okay. Well, that's that explored. So I guess, let's see, we have the cantina, the Beck base, the other apartments, and more Undercity. So maybe it's a good time to head up the elevator. Go to that base.
What? Sure.
Just put this on. Just in case the game's like, oh, you need to be wearing it. Unfortunate. We don't have the means to get in. So let's go to... let's return to the south side of the city. In fact, let's just return to the hideout to get there. Now let's explore a bit of this. I've even gotten all the way around my own apartment building. A literal Knight of the Republic. Yes, I am a Knight. How you doing, Blake? Let's see, where have we not been to here? So that connects to the Upper City North. Equipment Emporium. Cantina. Oh, we haven't explored the clinic. Maybe we'll find a Sith who's like, Sith soldier's like, oh, I'm too sick to go down here, take my thing to go on the patrol.
Don't worry. If I hear anything, you Sith will be the first to know. For a price, of course.
Okay.
The Sith governor said I could keep this medical facility open. I have the proper permits. Please, I don't want any trouble.
Let's put on some normal clothing. See what these people say.
I see from your appearance that you are an off-worlder. Still, you're welcome here. I'll not have it said that South Kaforan refused to help somebody just
pretty
because
well.
they weren't a citizen of Taris. Do you require healing or medical supplies? I can treat almost any injury or ailment right here at the medical facility. Except the rat ghoul disease, of course.
Rat ghoul disease? What's that?
This affliction has plagued Taris for many generations. It is spread by the rat ghouls, horrible monsters that live in the Undercity below Taris's great skyscrapers. Prolonged
Why do I feel like I'm gonna have to
exposure
fight them
the Undercity
eventually?
breeds the disease, and those infected will eventually mutate into rat ghouls themselves, becoming mindless beasts that feed on the flesh of others.
What? Come on, Meep. I thought I fixed you today. Meep is finicky. Oh look, Star Wars zombies, yep. Is there no cure?
There is no antidote for the disease, though I heard the Republic scientists at the military base here on Taris were close to perfecting a cure. Then the Sith arrived. They overran the military base, and now they refuse to allow anyone access to the laboratories inside. The Sith are keeping all the serum for the patrols they send into the Undercity. If I could just get my hands on a sample of that serum, the rat ghoul disease could be wiped from the face of Taris forever. I don't see how that's going to happen.
Maybe I could do it.
I don't see how anyone could get their hands on that serum. The military base is crawling with Sith guards. Breaking in there would be a suicide mission. I suppose the Sith patrols in the Undercity might have a sample of the serum on them, if they hadn't already used it because of a rat ghoul infection. But I doubt a patrol would just hand the serum over. And nobody is stupid enough to attack one of the Sith patrols, even in the Undercity.
Don't worry, I'm dumb enough.
Please, don't say that. If the Sith hear you, they might think I'm suggesting you start attacking their patrols. They could shut me down. I only mentioned the serum because you asked. I don't actually expect anyone to get me the serum. Now, is there anything else I can do for you? Of course. Just step over here and I'll show you what I have in stock. My prices are very reasonable. Just what I need to keep this facility operating.
Don't need advanced med packs. Oh, he only has one regular med pack for sale? Oh, he has infinite. Never mind. Okay. You know what? Let's buy some of those. It seems useful. Let's see if that'll work. Huh. Yeah, no, Meep just seems to be taking today off, apparently. I'm sorry, folks. I don't know what's happening with that. Nothing changes, and then one day it works, and then the next day it doesn't. Gurney, what do you have to talk about?
Psst, you there. Wait a minute. I need to talk to you about the Rakghoul serum. I've got an offer for you might want to hear.
Not interested.
Oh, don't be an idiot. Just listen to me for 1 minute, and you won't be sorry. Davik Kang wants the cure, and you'd be smart to give it to him.
Yes, it's...
Oh, come on. Everybody knows who Davik Kang is. He's the big boss around here. Gambling, smuggling, extortion. He's got a piece of all the action on Taris.
I don't want to help him. I don't want to tell him I'm giving it to Zelka. Where can I find...
Davik isn't the kind of guy you can just walk up to, you know. He likes to keep his business at arm's length. The best thing to do is to take the Rakghoul serum to Zax. He runs the Lower City Bounty Office, but everyone knows he also works for Davik. He'll make it worth your while.
I'll keep it in mind.
The rich could afford the cure. Just let the poor suffer, right?
If you find the Rakghoul serum, just take it to Zax in the Lower City Bounty Office. He works for Davik. He'll pay you
Karth, please. I'm just trying to end this conversation. To walk away from it without also incriminating this guy so he becomes a target. Like... Please. Seems so long as one of us is wearing the Sith armor, we can get down there. And there is more down there that we haven't explored yet. So...
Listen to me, people.
Okay, we'll talk to Karth again. Can you know anything about this place?
The planet's all one big city, but from what I hear, the wealthy live...
We've already talked about this.
I guess I did say you could ask me questions later, didn't I? Is this really necessary?
Just want to know you better.
It was an interrogation you wanted. Why didn't you say so?
I don't want an interrogation.
No, I was just joking. Though you do seem to be full of questions. It's rather refreshing, to be honest.
Your sense of sarcasm is terrible, Karth.
I've been going through the battle aboard the Endar Spire over and over in my head since we crashed. Some things just don't add up for me. Maybe you could tell me what happened, from your perspective.
Yeah, I just kind of woke up in a sick bed.
I was on board as an advisor for the most part. The battle began so fast it's anyone's guess as to what actually happened. We lost the ship and a lot of good people on that. For what? In the hope that the Jedi powers would save us somehow? Not that Bastila had much of an opportunity to act. We didn't choose that battle anyway. It got forced on us. Hell, I'm just as surprised that any of us are alive to talk about it. Come to think of it, it's more than a little surprising that you happen to be here, isn't it? I mean, just what is your position with the Republic fleet anyway?
I'm a scout.
Well, that makes sense. Still, it seems a bit strange that someone who is a last-minute addition to the crew roster is one of the survivors.
It's coincidence. What's so odd about me being added to the crew at the last minute?
Only one. Not to mention that Basileus Party was the one who requested your transfer. The Jedi requested numerous things when they came on board. I mean, hell, they practically took over the ship, as far as I could tell. Considering your connection to Bastila and the Jedi, whether you know it or not, your presence here seems a little convenient. I'm probably wrong, and this is probably nothing. I learned a long time ago not to take things at face value, ever, and I hate surprises.
Should we be trying to work together?
I'd be a fool not to. I'd also be a fool not to expect the unexpected.
Fine, let's just get back to the mission.
I don't trust anyone. And I have reasons. And no, I'm not going to discuss them, so can we just keep our mind on more important things?
Yeah, I think... Yeah, let's do that.
Like I said before, I prefer action.
I think discussing them with maybe your therapist would be an important thing. Well, I think actually that's going to be a good place to call it for today. Because it's Reconciliation Monday here in the Archdiocese of New York, so we have confessions basically all afternoon, so it's an all-hands-on-deck kind of affair, hence why this stream was early. But it was good to be here with y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in to Let Us Play. I've been your host, Father Evan. Join us again tomorrow at the usual time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for more Minecraft. And that'll be the last stream of the week. It's Holy Week. It's kind of a big and important week, and you know what? Just kind of want to be prayerful and enter into everything. And I encourage you to do the same. Go to your Triduum events. But you can catch me live again next week on Monday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's going to be the new time for Mondays, because we're going into the 3-hour mark for the Monday RPG stream, so that'll be fun. Tuesday next week, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that'll be Super Mario 64. That's what we're starting for April. And then for Spirituality Thursday next week, we're going to be doing Headliner Nova News. I'm really excited about that game. It looks really interesting. So that's the plan, and I hope everyone has a great rest of their Holy Week. So why don't we go ahead and see who's live to raid? Oh yeah, P. Tony's live doing Chips Challenge. Classic old school Microsoft game. So we're going to head on over there. Knowing full well that some of y'all are probably also already lurking in that chat. But anyway, take care, everyone, and God bless.